Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual, January 1st at 5 p.m. at the Rose Bowl, Pasadena, California, between number 9 Washington Huskies and the number 6 Ohio State Buckeyes.
Thank you for pronouncing the official and total title of this Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual. John?
I do what I can.
We don't want any copyright or whatever people that come after us. So,
they're going to get us.
Yeah, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
We finally made it. Here we are at the start of 2019 or the end of 2018, whatever time you're listening to this. But Ohio State made it to the Rose Bowl for the first time in Urban Meyer's career. It is a bit of a roller coaster season for the Buckeyes. Started with a ton of off-the-field issues coming over the summer. Rumors Urban Meyer getting fired. I think I was calling for Urban Meyer to get fired a couple of times on this show.
Which was stupid, and I hated you for it, and then you changed your mind.
He essentially is firing himself here.
He's resigning because of health issues.
Yes.
And then he's going to be assistant AD. It's fine.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
But he was suspended for the first 3 games of the season. Buckeyes went 3-0 in that 3-game absence. A midseason collapse at Purdue is the only thing keeping the Buckeyes from the playoffs. If they don't lose by like 700 points to Purdue, they're in the playoffs as a 1-loss team. Yep. I firmly believe that in Big Ten champion, but they lost by legitimately 28 points or something like that. So they're not getting in because of that.
Bad game.
Dwayne Haskins, any other season, probably is winning the Heisman.
No.
But they had 2 record-setting performances of quarterbacks that are facing off in the Orange Bowl between Tua Tagovailoa and Kyler Murray. So Dwayne Haskins had 4,500 yards passing, 47 passing touchdowns, which led the nation, and only 8 interceptions. And he also had 4 touchdowns that he showed. There's a little bit of his legs and a little bit of mobility at the end of the year. Had 4 touchdowns on the ground. As potent as the passing game is, the running game's kind of a little more dangerous. Urban Meyer loves to live through the run. This season's been difficult for him because he has such a good quarterback, transitioning to a passing style of offense. And he would love to just run this ball down the throat of Washington the whole night. 2-headed backfield, J.K. Dobbins and Mike Weber demoralized defenses all season. But Mike Weber is going to the NFL, but he has said he is going to play in the Rose Bowl. So kind of mixed feelings there. You expect Mike Weber to come out and have a great game, probably going to start the game and going to have a good game or going to want to have a good game heading into the NFL draft. And you expect Dwayne Haskins going to do the same. Now, there's going to be a lot of storylines at play for the granddaddy of them all. It's Urban's first Rose Bowl. It's Urban's last game. It's Ryan Day's first bowl game. So I'm sure Ryan Day's going to get a lot of talk in this one because he has been announced as the next head coach of the Buckeyes. How much is Urban going to let him actually call the plays in this game? And is Urban just going to essentially watch from the sidelines? Chris Peterson on the flip side, 1-4 as the Washington head coach in bowl games. Is Jake Browning ever going to become a relevant quarterback again? I think it was 1 or 2 years ago that he was in the Heisman talk for much of the season. I think overall, Ohio State's offense is going to have a tough test because Washington Husky defense is pretty good. If Washington can play up to the potential, John, what do you really think that Washington can do against this Ohio State offense?
I mean, it's definitely an uphill battle. The Huskies, I each time that we talked about the Huskies throughout the season, I think I picked them to lose, just because there's nothing going on where I'm like, oh yeah, I mean they're going to blow people out, and so how the Huskies are still inside the top 10 is a bit surprising to me. Their biggest win was probably against the Mississippi Mustache and Wazzu to make it into the Pac-12 championship, where they beat Utah 10-3. So
Right.
Even their championship win was not that big of a win. The only reason it happened was a weird pick 6 that bounced off the butt of Saiosi Mariner and into the hands of Byron Murphy. So if that had not happened, that was the first and only pick 6 for the Huskies this year. If that had not happened, who knows how that Pac-12 championship game would have ended
3-3.
into 7 overtimes, tied at 3-3. Total defensive battle. It's gonna be great. So Jake Browning, you talked about him. He's been serviceable this year. He only had 2,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Myles Gaskins takes the majority of the groundwork, rolling for 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns on the season. Overall, the offense is not going to blow anyone away, and I'm concerned for them against a Buckeye team that seemed to hit their stride during that Michigan game. And it honestly, like, I don't know if they get down early, it's going to be real hard to come back in the second half. The Buckeyes, it depends which set of DBs shows up, because sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're really bad. Hard to tell. One of the fun storylines here for Jake Browning and Myles Gaskins, you have Jake Browning's final game. And as for Gaskins, with 53 yards, he'll become the second player in FBS history to have 4 1,200-yard seasons.
That's pretty
Only
good.
the second player to ever do that. So pretty crazy there. Browning's looking for his first major bowl game win, and being able to do that against a higher-ranked opponent would be icing on the cake. But I'm sure everyone is still kind of missing the 2016 Jake Browning that had the Heisman talk, 43 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
Now, the defense is going to have a tough task. As you mentioned, high-powered offense, Dwayne Haskins, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure if they'll be able to stop the Buckeyes a majority of the time. They're only allowing 15.5 points per game to their opponents, 185 passing yards and 116 on the ground. If they can bring the pain with Dwayne Haskins, they may be able to beat the spread.
Bring the pain.
But again, if they get down early, things could be ugly in the second half. It's going to sound like a homer pick, but I'm taking OSU in this one, 35-14.
John actually picked Ohio State.
Hey, I looked at the numbers. I did the research. There are, like, Doctor Strange, where he sees the certain scenarios. It's like, I've went through 10,000 scenarios. Well, and how many of them did Washington win? 5. So I think there are a few ways that they can win, but it's pretty small to me.
Don't give that, because the 5 ways is the way that Doctor Strange chose, and he's gonna win, right?
Yeah.
That's spoiler alert to
Of
Avengers
course.
5 or 4 or whatever we're on.
I've not seen Infinity War, so I don't know. I only know the memes.
Who are you?
So, I don't like Marvel. Get out of here.
Come on. Ohio State's gonna win. We both think Ohio State's gonna win. I think this will be big for Urban Meyer, and the whole team in Ohio State, Buckeye Nation's gonna go hard for Urban here, even though we're all disappointed. Like, what gusto does Ohio State have that all fans can be angry that we're only in a Rose Bowl? Like, that's the power that Ohio State's fandom carries. It's like, we're all pissed off that it's just the Rose Bowl, and we haven't been to the Rose Bowl. Being mad
that we
in
had
Urban Meyer's
one
career.
loss. Yeah.
So that's just it baffles me to think any other team, any other fan base, there's like 5 fan bases in the country that can complain about a 1-loss season. Like, it's just crazy to think about, and we're one of them, and we're so spoiled. But I am a little disappointed that we're just in the Rose Bowl. Like, it's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Go Buckeyes.